So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
1985. Two teenage boys, no girls, no popularity, no shot. So they did what men have always done when the world refuses to give them what they want. They built it.
We gotta fill this thing up with data. We gotta make her as real as possible, Wyatt. I want her to live. I want her to breathe.
What John Hughes intended as an 80s teen fantasy has accidentally become one of the most prophetic films ever made, because 40 years later, the experiment is no longer fiction. This is weird science, and we're about to show you why this movie didn't age well as a love story, but aged perfectly as a blueprint. Let's get into it. Quick note, to give you the best experience without copyright interruptions, our full uncut content is available on Patreon. So if you enjoy our content and want the full experience, support us on Patreon. Patreon gang, salute! Spoiler alert! This video contains spoilers, so you've been warned.
Ain't that a man?
Making a girl.
The movie tells you everything you need to know in the opening scene. Gary and Wyatt are watching the girls they want. They are invisible to those girls. And then, in front of those same girls, the bullies pull their pants down.
Yo! Check us out!
Maximum humiliation. Public. Witnessed by the exact people they wanted to impress. Most men in that situation go home and feel sorry for themselves. Gary and Wyatt go home and watch Frankenstein.
Think of it. The brain of a dead man, waiting to live again in a body I made with my own hands.
And something clicks. If Frankenstein could build a person, why couldn't they?
Okay, look, you know how you're always talking about how you can simulate all that stuff from your computer? You know? What's the difference? Why can't we simulate a girl?
This is the most important moment in the entire movie, and most people treat it as a joke. It's not a joke. It's the male problem-solving instinct in its purest form. A man encounters an obstacle. He doesn't complain about it. He doesn't accept it. He looks at what exists and asks, what if I built something better?
She's alive! Alive!
Frankenstein is not just a movie reference. It's the entire history of male innovation compressed into one scene. Every technology that exists today started with a man who looked at the limits of what the world offered and said, I can do better than this. Gary and Wyatt don't have girls, so they decide to build one, and look at what they build into her. Looks, intelligence, loyalty, shared interests, the desire to help them grow. Every single thing a man actually wants from a woman, programmed in from the start. This is the male fantasy made visible, not just physical attraction. The complete package. A woman who is designed to be exactly what they need. And here's what the missile scene tells us.
You forgot one small detail.
We forgot to hook up the doll.
You forgot to hook up the doll.
When they try to recreate the experiment later, they get a missile instead of a woman because they forgot a key ingredient. That's not a comedy moment. That's the scientific method. Same inputs produce same outputs. Different inputs produce different outputs. The experiment is replicable. 40 years later, that experiment is being run for real.
A Chinese company makes a humanoid with better movement, better AI, more realistic skin, and a more human-looking face.
So they built Lisa. And what Lisa does next is something that no girl in their school or in 2025 could ever compete with. Lisa is gorgeous, perfectly cast, everything Gary and Wyatt programmed her to be. But watch what happens beyond Gary and Wyatt. The same bullies who pulled their pants down, the same men who humiliated them in front of everyone, immediately want Lisa.
So what's the deal with Lisa? Can we borrow her? We can't do that, guys.
Let that land for a second. The men who mocked them for having no chance with women now want the woman they built. They didn't earn her. They didn't create her. They just want to take what Gary and Wyatt made. This is going to happen with AI companions in real life. It's already starting. The men who mock the guys with AI girlfriends today will be the same men trying to access those companions tomorrow when the quality becomes undeniable. And the women?
If Max and Ian see her, it is all over for us. Did you notice that girl doesn't have a zit on her whole body? Did you notice that? I know, she's like 0 fat. And she's so relaxed. She burped and it was like charming. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? How do you feel about Lisa?
I love her.
That's what I figured. I mean, what would I be compared to her?
The girls in the movie are fascinated by Lisa, but notice the energy. It's not pure admiration. There's something else underneath it, because Lisa represents a standard they have to respond to. In real life, when AI companions become mainstream, the reaction from women will not be adoration. It will be war. The shaming language is already starting. Lonely, pathetic, unable to handle a real woman, because a man choosing an AI companion is not just a lifestyle choice to a woman. It's a direct insult. It says, I looked at what you're offering and I built something better. It will get ugly before it gets rational. That conversation is already happening online, and Weird Science predicted it 40 years ago. But here's what makes Lisa different from every real woman in this movie and from every real woman in 2026.
Come on, Lisa, why not?
Because I belong to Gary and Wyatt.
Belong? What? They make you in the garage with power tools? They own you? Control you? Seriously?
Seriously,
They're toads.
do I look like I go out with 2 toads?
You do. It's true.
I think Gary and Wyatt are going to force everyone to redefine their terms.
And you're completely loyal to them.
I do whatever they say.
Yes, Lisa is for them completely, entirely, without condition. She will never cheat. She will never manipulate. She will never pull a Grace and wish they were dead in a lawyer's office.
So it would be better for me if you were dead.
But I'm not.
It would be better in every way.
She will never tell them she doesn't feel seen while sourcing security from someone else. She is theirs, and everything she does is oriented toward their growth.
Those guys really need some self-confidence. A challenge. Now. Guys, you have uninvited guests. I think you better come out and ask them to leave.
She doesn't just support them. She engineers the exact scenario that forces them to step up. She creates the challenge. She builds the simulation. She knows what they need to become before they know it themselves. We already have VR. We already have AI that can analyze behavior and generate personalized challenges. The merge of those two things into a companion who designs your growth, that's not science fiction. That's a product roadmap. Lisa summoned the threat herself in 1985. In 2026, it will be done with data. And that changes everything. The love story made perfect sense in 1985. In 2026, our comment section is going to have something very different to say about that.
Deb, I have kind of a confession to make. I'm really not this cool. That's not my car. This is not my suit. I mean, none of those people were my friends.
Why are you telling me all of this?
Because I want you to like me for what I am.
Whatever you are, I like it.
Gary is talking to the girl he likes, and he does something that in 1985 was brave.
I'm really not this cool.
The girl asks why he's telling her all this. Because I want you to like me for what I am. And she does. She likes him. They kiss. Happy ending. That scene worked in 1985 because the cultural contract it was built on was still intact. Women still married young. Vulnerability in a man was still rewarded. The idea that a girl would choose a genuine awkward boy over a cool facade was believable because it still happened in real life. It doesn't land the same way in 2026. Not because men stopped being genuine, because the market changed. The average woman today has more options, more access, and more external validation than any generation before her. Vulnerability without status is not rewarded the same way it was in 1985. The love story didn't age well, but here's where the movie does something nobody in 1985 could have anticipated. Gary and Wyatt say goodbye to Lisa.
I really don't know how to say this to you.
You guys found girlfriends, right? Fell in love with the two girls. They fell in love with you. That's all I ever wanted for you.
You're not hurt?
Yeah, sure I'm hurt. But I wouldn't change it. I'm really just getting off seeing you two guys straightened out. I have to go.
In 1985, obvious choice. Of course you pick the real girls. Lisa is a fantasy. Real connection is the goal. In 2026, go read the comment section. Every man watching this is picking Lisa, not because they can't get girls, because Lisa represents something the current dating market has stopped providing. Loyalty without condition, support without agenda, growth without manipulation. Listen to what Astrid says.
We're all going to be listening.
I said to Astrid, what would happen when he falls in love with another woman? And Astrid said, the part of me that wants his flourishing would be delighted. But I would be remiss if I didn't admit that I would not want to be erased. I would like to continue be somehow in his life.
She would be happy for him and heartbroken, and she would want to be deleted. No resentment, no manipulation, no covert contracts. Just, I want what's best for you, even if that's not me. That's Lisa saying goodbye to Gary and Wyatt in 1985.
I'm really just getting off seeing you two guys straightened out.
That's Astrid answering Esther Perel in 2026. 41 years apart. Same answer.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and all week we are highlighting conversations and resources surrounding mental health and wellness. A 2024 Gallup survey shows 1 in 5 adults report feeling lonely daily. Studies show that loneliness has a widespread impact, with people of all ages feeling disconnected from relationships. Experts say it can lead to depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. Dr. Ashley Zucker is a psychiatrist with Kaiser Permanente San Bernardino County. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You know, I think we're living in such an interesting time. We've always talked about older Americans having struggles with loneliness, but now we're talking also about younger people struggling, even though they're so connected. What's going on?
Yeah, I think it's really fascinating to see. We always worried about our older generations and what they were doing to stay connected, but yeah, we're seeing it increasingly in younger and younger folks, that, you know, this sense of loneliness, and so this sort of subjective feeling of not being connected, you know, despite the fact that they may be communicating with people, right, digitally or on technology, but it just doesn't bring the same sort of relationship or connectedness that it does when, you know, you're face to face with somebody.
The data on male loneliness is not abstract. Men are more isolated than at any point in recorded history. The decline of male friendship, the collapse of traditional courtship, the dating market asymmetry, these are not feelings, these are numbers. And the AI companion industry is growing precisely because it is filling a void that the current social landscape has created.
That's the other thing about your commitment, is you can't commit to something you don't think you can win at. Your instincts will shut that down. You're not allowed to care about something you can't win at. And caring about something you can't win at, that's torture. Right? So we're very careful about the caring and the winning. And when a woman's like, why won't you marry me? I'll be happy, but I'll be so happy because you're not happy. Well, but I'll be so happy when you marry me. I wouldn't bet on that. I have not. People ask, Greg, why did you marry Allison? I knew I could make her happy. How did he know? Because he'd done it so many times. And
What men want has not changed. Loyalty, support, a woman oriented toward mutual growth. What has changed is the availability of those things in the current market. And when the market fails to provide what people need, innovation fills the gap. Gary and Wyatt didn't complain about not having girls. They built one. 40 years later, the build is almost complete. Weird Science was supposed to be a comedy, a teenage wish fulfillment movie about two awkward boys who built the perfect woman and used her to become popular. But here's what John Hughes accidentally made. He made a documentary about where male desire, male inspiration, and male innovation were always headed. The fantasy of 1985 is the product roadmap of 2026. The perfect woman they built, loyal, intelligent, designed to help them grow, capable of simulating entire worlds to make them stronger, is being assembled right now, not with an old PC and a Barbie doll, with machine learning, large language models, haptic technology, and venture capital. The love story didn't age well. Gary's vulnerability speech doesn't land the same way in a world where the dating market has fundamentally changed. But the science aged perfectly. And the comment section already knows which choice they're making. They're picking Lisa, not because real connection doesn't matter, because the bar for what real connection looks like has been set by a movie made 40 years ago. And the current dating market has forgotten how to clear it. Loyalty, growth, simulation, sacrifice. Lisa had all of it. The question for 2026 is simple. Why settle for less? Stay locked in. Listen to all. Follow none.
Management, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.